starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hadn't heard that in a second, so I thought I would play it again just to remind you how far we've come. And welcome to episode 23. And you see, we're back in the old studio for today as I am working on my candle studio. So I had to come back to my office. So, how's everybody doing? I hope wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Oh, I got my comments here. Hey, Court. Hope you had an awesome week. So, last week we did our amazing fragrance week, right? And she is right on time. And that was featuring raspberry blends with from the Chandler's Rose. So, once again, go ahead and grab that if you haven't gotten your copy. And if you missed it, go catch the last episode with all the amazing recipes that we shared. So, this week, we are going to be talking about a topic that was given to us by one of our other mods, Courtney. All right. And before I do that, let's see what Rose says here. First of all, good evening, Rose. Let's see what she says. Oh, there is Keisha checking in with her new baby, Monty. All right. She got a puppy this weekend. All right. Hold on. Let me go back real quick. What did Rose say? Uh-oh, Rose. As always. Duh. Oh, you took the blends best list down because they're going into a book. Okay, I'll take that. Let us know when you get the book going. Of course, you know we're definitely going to support and talk about your book in an upcoming episode. All right, perfect. Hey, Jayla. And Courtney from Love You Bunches Candle Co. said she's buying those fragrances tonight and she is excited. All right. I hope to be doing the same as well. That was fun, Rose, to do your blends well with, and then to have to add on to that. That was a challenge. All right. Yes. And tell my new fur baby nephew I said hello, Keisha. All right. So everyone is here. It looks like the gang's all here. So tonight, Courtney actually gave us a very interesting topic. And that topic is naming your products. And the name that I actually picked for today is how to choose the perfect name for your candle, soap, or body products. But really, to be honest, this applies for any product based business. And I took it a step further, me being me. The second part of what we're going to talk about is how to use your product name in marketing. So for today, hopefully this will be an interactive exercise, all right, with getting some examples, all right. And Rose, you said your sister creator is writing a book, and okay, perfect. Oh, that's awesome. All right. And Jayla, I think I said hello, but if I didn't, hey, Jayla. All right. So first thing we're going to talk about, this is for new businesses, and if you are a current business that is changing or wants to either add or change your product lineup. Okay. All right. So that's the first thing we're going to talk about. And of course, as always, let's get all the YouTube stuff out of the way. And by the way, I noticed I don't have as many subscribers as I do viewers. So do me a favor, if you're watching a replay of this, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Y'all come out there to grab the recipes anyway, so you might as well subscribe while you're there. And how's everybody thinking? Let me know down in the comments below whether you're here live with me and the mods. What do you all think about the fragrance table series? Are you all liking that? A lot of recipes out there on the site. And if you wanted to grab them for yourself, they are listed under shop, and you will see where it says fragrance blend recipes. They are now out there and available for your use. Pay attention to the instructions that I put out there, or else it's going to charge you if you don't. All right. All right. So now that that's out of the way, and oh, before I forget, the site is Bubbles and Flames, both with a Z, podcast.com. And I believe we've got at or close to 400 and some odd recipes. I know we will go over 400 by the end of July. All right, so let's jump right into it about naming products. So, for candle makers and soap makers, I can speak on that. We typically come up with a lot of interesting products. Sometimes the products actually match what the name of your business is, and sometimes they don't. Products can be inspired by different things. It could be a memory, it could be a moment, it could be something that you are tying together, such as a collection. All right. So it's different things that inspire different people to come up with product names. It could be colors, it could be states, although there's a big copyright situation going on right now with the states. So I would stay away from those. All right. And do your research on that. If you don't know what I'm talking about, it's all over TikTok. All right. So my products that I have for my company, and I am actually a candle maker, and I do non-traditional candles, and the name of my company is Nuts About Candles, and also that's NUTZ about candles. So, excuse me, my candles are actually I'm working on a new collection that's called Inspired. So once I release it, it is about I picked three candle makers that inspire me and support me in a major way, both in front of the screen and off screen as well. And you all know that one of them is in here, which is Jayla. I don't know if Rob is in the audience, but I have a candle coming out called Dapper. And then there's another surprise one that's coming out, and I will roll that out soon as well. So there are candle makers that inspire me, and I also have people in my personal life that have inspired me that are also in the collection called Inspired, excuse me. So look out for that. And that is how I named my collection. My current candles that I had, really simple. I have a floral candle that's called Rose, which is pretty simple. It's actually a rose candle, but everybody is on the wine thing, so I decided to call it Rose. And then I have another, the original candle in my inspired collection. That is from a fellow candle maker who came up with the blend, which is a Loso from the Wicked Candle Co. All right. And if you haven't checked out Loso, go follow him on Instagram. It's the Wicked Candle Lab. And I hope I didn't mess that up, Loso. He just is doing some rebranding over there. So we're excited to support him as well. So, with my mods and those that are in the audience, what are some of the things that inspired you for your collection, whether it's candles, whether it's soap, body butters, whatever products it is that you sell, shades, clothes? I always like to ask, and Courtney, thank you for the comment. I'm sorry. Um, I always like to ask, what inspires you to name your products the various things that you inspire? Okay. Oh, that was quick. All right. And again, Courtney from Love You Bunches Candle Co. If you're not familiar with her line, it's hers is about family and memories. So each one of her candles is actually about a person in her family. All right. And if you ever get a chance to go over there and check out her site, her lemon pound cake candle is the flagship candle, and it's very special for the person that it's named after. All right. And Keisha chimed in and also said, my family inspires my line. All right. So, Keisha, I'm excited to see what you come up with for your candle line. I have been on Keisha to roll her candle line out, and I think she's really close. I think you're shooting for Christmas, right, Keisha? For fall, Christmas time, holiday. All right, and I'll wait for her to inspire me with her inspire me with what inspires you, which is your family members. I'm excited to see what you decided and your final choices. All right, so when you are naming a product, let's jump into my notes. When you are naming a product, oh, hold on, let's see what Rose said. She has dessert, coffee shop, chivalry, which is her masculine line, Uh-oh, you know I'm gonna mess this one up, Rose. Fractured, is it fairy? I always mess that up. Fractured Fairy Tales, Pre Brothers Grimm, and the Pirates Cove line. My favorite right now of all that Rose does, of course, is the Chivalry line because I love masculine scents, and her dessert line is amazing. All right, so check her out from the Chandler's Rose as well. Abba has a very interesting lineup. When she comes on here, I will ask her what inspires her to make her products as well. All right. And if you are out there in either the Facebook group or I have my other group, Chandler and Me, on, I would love to hear your comments as well, whether you put them in now during the live stream or later. All right. So think about this when you name your products, and you should really give some thought to this because what you put into the name might go viral. You never know, right? So here's some factors to consider when you're choosing a product name. Who your target audience is, right? That's important. The product scent or purpose for those of us that work with fragrances, right? If you don't work with that, how about color? Some people, it's really popular right now. Everybody's into black candles, black everything, blackout candles, meaning the wicks are black. And of course, you can get those from Makesy. And no, this is not sponsored by them, but in case somebody asks me, Makesy carries the different colored wicks, a black container or vessel, and of course color, making the wax black. So that's really popular right now, with a lot of people, the different colors, of course. We just finished up Pride Month for June, so a lot of people came out with some really beautiful candles for Pride Month with all the colors. The overall branding of your business. Again, I'm going to use Rob as an example for that because everyone loves his branding. Even though it's very classic, you can take any color and put it with his branding because it's black and white. All right. And then remember, it's all about the way you present it. Even though it is simple, a black and white branding for colors can be taken very luxe. You can add metals to it, you can change your fonts. It's all in presentation. All right. And we have a whole episode about branding. So definitely go back and check us out on that one. All right. How about if you're going so deep with your product naming that is your domain name available? If you want people to find you based off of a product name, right? You got to make sure before you roll it out that that domain name is available. You want it to be super simple so that when people type in the product, you come up first or you want to place in the top. All right. How about here's some tips, and this was a fun one, Courtney, to put together. Here's some tips that I found and I thought about for coming up with a creative and memorable name. All right. Use descriptive words that relate to your product. And if you don't know about SEO, you want to learn, take there's plenty of free classes on SEO, and that is search engine optimization. That's what I just mentioned a second ago, how to place your name high in the search results. There's millions, and I do mean millions, of candles and soap makers. So you want to make sure that if you are going to be specializing in a particular product, that you do your research. You want it to be SEO friendly. SEO friendly, all right? So go back and make sure you know what that term means. It's how to place high in the search engine results, no matter what the search engine is, all right? And I hope that makes sense to everybody. And let's see. So we talked about that. Descriptive verbs. How about this? How many of you are actual comedians and you use humor or wordplay to name your candles? I personally like those type of candles. Just be careful if you're going to use the cuss words in them. A lot of people, of course, keep them PG friendly by putting a star if it's going to be a cuss word in the name. But those are really trendy also right now. All right. So you have the color candles. You also have the trendy candles with the humorous names. Another thing is a lot of people forget about this. What about prank candles? Prank candles are a lot of fun. They're really popular, of course, on April Fool's Day. but there's a lot of candle companies that come up with the prank names. And I'll give you, this is just off the top of my head, this is really not in my notes, but I'll give you one of my favorite vendors for prank candles, which is Save on Scents. And it's spelled just as it's heard, the word save on and the word scents with an S. And that's all one word.com. And they're out of New York. They have a lot, and I do mean a lot, of the prank things that you can think of from okay, I'll mention that in a second, Courtney. They have the gas fragrances. They have, I mean, it's all kind of fragrances that you wouldn't think that they have, but they have them. So check them out if you're doing a prank candle on somebody. They also carry regular fragrances too, by the way. Let me see what Courtney says here. Oh, she gave me an example. Her example is, oh look, my last F to give, it's on fire. All right, so that is the name of a candle that could be edgy, but actually, that is a very popular name for candles right now. A lot of people say, I have zero F's to give, and I'm lighting the last one. So you'll see a lot of variations and plays on words like that. All right, so just think about that, and that is humor or wordplay. All right, something else. Make sure that the name is easy to pronounce and remember. Whether you are coming up with product names, we talked about company names. If you in the future decide to get into podcasting like I did, I wanted something that would be relatable but different. So obviously, the bubbles stands for soap makers, and my body product makers, and the flames, of course, are for those of us that are candle makers. All right, and it's a podcast, so. And then what ties it to my company name is the Z. All right. So you want to make it fun, but also memorable. All right. How many of us are ever going to forget Amazon, right? All right. So let's go over what we've talked about really quick. Here's some of the factors to consider when you're choosing a product name. Who's your audience? Who are you going to sell it to? Is it going to be for everybody? Is it going to be for a specific niche group? There's a lot of people that are into goth, so there's a lot of goth candle makers out there. Also, the new thing that's coming up, well, it's not new, but it's new to me, is cosplay. All right, so people are getting into that. If you're into gaming, there's a couple candle makers out there who their whole line is inspired by them being gamers. All right, and then of course Courtney gave an example, Rose gave examples with her line. All right, so keep that type of idea in mind if you're going with a particular scent or purpose. I'll grab Rose's for example right here, where she said, I have dessert, I have coffee, and then she's got several other variations. So she serves not just one niche, but a wide variety for those who like dessert candles, coffee candles, or you could buy one of each and combine the two. All right. And then also the masculine. So keep in mind your product scent or purpose, your overall branding of your business. I gave an example with using Rob of Dapper Guru. His branding is black and white, but it's very luxe in feel with his presentation. So, is it possible to do candles along that line? Absolutely. You can add color to them. There's so many different ways in presentation that you can do for your business. It doesn't matter what it is for this conversation. All right. And if you are looking to put out a specific product for a specific niche before you start anything, make sure your domain name's available. Because if not, you're going to have to come up with a variation. And you don't want someone else to get your customers. All right. I'm going to give you an example. If you were to go and Google my company name, Nuts About Candles, if you type in Nuts About Candles using the Z, I'm going to come up. But there's also some other funny company names that come up. It's one in particular. So let's see if somebody looks it up and puts it in the chat for me. All right. The keyword is going to be nuts, Nutz, and I'll leave it at that. All right. So keep in mind when you put and use things like that, you've got to think of variations in case somebody else uses it. All right. How about using descriptive words that relate directly to your product. I'm going to use Jayla because I know she's in the audience and she's also one of my amazing mods. The name of her company is Light the Mood. Jayla does Reiki. She does sound baths. So her candle line is perfect for what she does. And she also has a nonprofit. So that feeds perfectly. She's lighting your mood via her candles. All right. So again, just think about that when you are coming up with your product names. What do you want your customer to experience or look for when they are looking for your company? All right. Use humor or wordplay. All right. So I just gave you an example about a fellow candle maker who, if you use the first name from my candle company, you'll find his candle line, and he has an actual company and he's out on Amazon. All right. So sometimes his customers come looking for me, and vice versa, and we have two totally different candles. I do glitter and non-traditional candles, and he does the humorous wordplay candles. All right. So make it easy to pronounce and or remember. All right. So when you're talking about naming your products, you've taken all of that into consideration and really put some thought into it. It shouldn't be something that you come up with overnight. However, I will give you a suggestion for those of you that are into AI. AI is amazing to help you come up with names for your business. There's several AI business generators out there, and also it'll give you different variations. So I try not to laugh. So Keisha went out there and did the research, and yes, you did find the proper company. Notice that his Z is different, and because this is uh, a family friendly show, My Key Candle Co. I'm not going to repeat it, but I put it up on the screen so you all could read it real quick. All right. So that's just a way you could do a play on words. All right. And yes, she did guess it, Courtney. All right. So now let's talk about marketing. So you've come up with your product name. So let's talk about marketing and how to use your product name in your marketing, right? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm laughing at what Courtney said. She yelled it, and my sister looked at me like I was crazy. Yes. And I'm laughing at what Jayla said too. Yes, that is a roast. Also, Snoop said it a lot. And Jayla is my California friend. So Snoop used to say that a lot too. So I laugh about it. And ironically, both of us are on Amazon. So we come up in each other's searches too, as well as our SEO search. All right. So let's talk about marketing and how to use your product name in marketing. If So let's go back again. When you're talking about websites, incorporate your product name in your website. If I just put nuts about, what would you think that my company is? What would you think that I sell if I did not say the word candles? If you don't put your product name in your company name, you need to put it on your website or something. If you are a boutique and you don't use the word boutique or clothing or whatever it is that you sell, your customers are going to go, what kind of company is this? Is this a legit company? I don't know what they do. So you don't want your customers to ever question what it is that you do. So you want to have your name in your company name, and preferably also on or in your website. All right. So that your customers don't have to do too many clicks to figure out what it is that you do. All right. So that's the first thing. All right. How about using this is some stuff that I looked up. Incorporating your product name in the URL. All right. Hey, Penny. Long time no see, stranger. Ciao. Yes, ma'am. I appreciate it. And have a good week too until I talk to you, Penny. So Penny is one of my old candle friends, and she stops through when she gets a chance. and her company is Penny's Flame. She does candles, and also CBD candles. So check her out sometime. All right. So use your product name in your URL. Again, your website. Also, use your product name in the title of your website pages. All right. And what do I mean by that? When you go to the different types of pages, sometimes you will see companies that have different names and usually with their products. So I'll give you an example. We all know it, but a lot of times people don't do this for whatever reason. Bath bombs, bath soaps, wickless candles, wax melts, makeup, shades, whatever it is that you do, you want to make sure that when you break down the pages, that your customers can find what they want quickly, right? All right, let's see what Rose said here. Okay, Rose, sounds good. We'll catch you next week. I appreciate you stopping by, to Rose and to Penny. And have a good week, too. All right, and see, for me, for those of you that have other things to do, I appreciate you stopping through, and catch the replay if you're not able to make it with us live. I appreciate it. All right. How about also using the product name in the body of your website pages? So somewhere, if so here's a double. You can say, I just gave you some examples: bath bombs, bath salts, and you can also use it on your product pages, because some people like to flip through all the pages, right, of your website. So you want to make sure that they know what it is that you're advertising. For us as makers, we tend to do that anyway, but that's directed more towards other small businesses who might be watching, who might sell a big variety of things. All right, dresses, pants, shoes, makeup, different things like that. You want to break it out in your title of your page as well as on the page as well. You never know how people learn or read. So never assume anything, especially nowadays. All right. How about using your product name in social media, right? Because unfortunately, whether we like it, love it, or hate it, we all as business people have to use social media of some sort, whether it's TikTok, whether it is Instagram, whether it's Facebook, whether it is Twitch, I mean, there's so many things. I can keep going on and on. And remember, I dropped you all a hint. If you're not out there yet, go sign up for Lemon 8. Lemon 8 is owned by the people who do TikTok, and that's a new and upcoming platform. Lemon, like the fruit, and the number 8. Make sure you follow me out there, please. I appreciate it. I'm under there for Nuts About Candles and also for the podcast. All right, so make sure that you establish a Lemon 8 profile. Lemon 8 is like, it's like IG and TikTok together. You can do pictures or you can do video. All right, people are doing a combo of both. It's not a lot of people out there right now, so it's still an up and coming platform. So use your product name in social media. What does that mean? I'm going to give you an example. For those of you that are on TikTok, you'll see somebody's first name and have no idea that they run a business until you click on their page. There's a lot of lost revenue there, because if I'm looking for soap, especially with the TikTok shop, if I don't know your name, how am I going to find you? So a lot of times when I go and do these searches, and shout out to the ones that are on TikTok, I'm almost up to 1,400, so I appreciate you all spreading the word. When you go on TikTok, if you see, since she just talked to me, Keisha, how am I going to know she's My Key Candle Co. unless I go click on her page? There are thousands of people named Keisha out there. So you would have to know how to spell her name, and you would have to know and or know that she's a candle company. So you want to make sure that you use whatever your product is in your name, especially on social media. And speaking of social media, make sure that you mention what makes you different, because there are millions of people on social media. So why do I want to shop with you? Right? So you want to put why you stand out, even if it's something so simple as your branding. People may like your branding. All right, so keep that in mind. And what'd you say, Keisha? Yes, I try to keep up with it because I have to share with everybody else. So I try. I've had my Lemonade account actually for a couple months now. I need to do more on it. All right. Keisha, as a matter of fact, since you said something, sorry, my nose is itching. Remind me before we get off of here that I need to share one more social media tip that will help everybody out. All right. Also, use your product name in your social media posts. So you should be using it in the name of your company. You should be using it in the name of your I'm sorry. Okay, Keisha, good. I'm sorry, I read your comment. All right, so you should be using it in your social media handle, right? You should be using it, especially if you're a business, that is. You should be using it in your bios. You should be using it on your social media. If you're advertising something specifically, you definitely want to reference that product and any other product that you have, right? And just in general, any marketing that you do, you always want to mention your product and your company name. Because if you just say, oh, cold processed soap, okay, what exactly does that mean? You sell cold processed soap, you like cold processed soap, you're looking for someone who sells cold processed soap, you hate it. Cold processed soap can be taken a lot of different ways. So you always want to rep your brand and your company. Even if you're posting on a personal page, tell people to go shout you out first and foremost, and to go and follow you on your business page and get off my personal page, right? In some cases. All right. Well, let's see what Courtney says here. If you have shops on Instagram or TikTok, tag your product when you post your product so they can go straight to the product shop from the post. Absolutely. And which reminds me, we need to do a social media episode, don't we? All right. Also, anytime you do any type of marketing, whether it be social media, whether it is copy, whether it is a video, always mention your name, your company name. And if you are the owner of the company, I would encourage you to say, hey, I'm so and so. My company is, when you get a chance, it's not always appropriate for every situation, but put it in the print. And again, a lot of social media now has shops that can all be connected. So you want to make sure that you take advantage of that. You never know who's watching. All right. Also, use your name in advertising print or images and videos. All right. That's very important because you might not get a chance to talk because some people can't hear. So you want to make sure that you put your name in writing for those that are deaf. All right. You want to speak it for those that are blind, if that makes sense. And then you have people like me who I hear very good, but I can't see that well, as you all probably can tell, because I have to keep leaning to read the comments, right? All right. So, in summary, like I said, I wanted to keep this quick in case you all had something else you wanted to talk about real quick. In summary, use your name in everything, use it across the board. If you are doing niche marketing, mention your product. Every time I get on TikTok, every time I get on Instagram, they look like billboards because that's really what they are, especially on TikTok. You see the same people, but those are the people who are really getting a lot of eyes on them because you always see them. They're always talking about their products. They're always using that hashtag strategy. And do you have to go pay somebody for that? No. It just takes a little bit of research. There's plenty of people that are on Instagram and TikTok. They call themselves um, marketing gurus, marketing agencies. There's so many people that can help you out there. All right, marketing specialists to help, and some of them are free, and a lot of them you have to pay them a small amount up to several $1,000s, but they do get results. All right, so when you are advertising a product, even if you have something that's coming soon, you always want to mention it. All right. So over here, we always, as Keisha said, try to keep you in the know. So when you are doing all of this social media stuff, because social media can be overwhelming. Jayla, I did, and I unhooked it, and they sent me a nasty message too. Um, when you are doing something like that, and what Jayla said is she still has not hooked up her site to Meta. there's pros and cons with that. And sometime soon, we're going to do the social media episode and we will talk about all these different platforms, pros and cons. But what I wanted to share with you all to make it easier is there is a app. And again, this is not sponsored. When you hear me mention a company name, it is not sponsored unless I point them out that they are sponsoring the video. It is called Metrocool. Metrocool. It is, let me give you the exact spelling, and I'm going to tell you about this app really quick. Bear with me here for just a second because I want to make sure that I give you all the correct spelling. And if you are about that iLife, it will come up in your Apple Store that we go and purchase. If not, you can get it in the Google Play Store if you are on Android. It is called Metricool, and it is spelled Metricool. Metricool. And what this app does, I've been using it for a while. It's a white background with a loop that's black. All right, Metricool. They are social media managers in an app. All right, you can post to everything from that app: LinkedIn, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, of course, Facebook Business, pretty much all your social media platforms, with the exception of Lemonade. Lemonade is not on there yet, but all your major social media is out there. You make one form of content and you can post it to all of them, or you can do your individual content. You can schedule it, you can post it. It's very useful, especially if you are busy. It is perfect for moms. It is perfect for people that are on the go. You can schedule it from your phone, and I believe they now have it to where you can schedule it from your computer. All right, I've been using it for a couple months now, and I really like it. But my fault. I post when I think about it, and I forget that I have the Metricool app. But if you use it and use it for what it's intended for, it's really good. I saw it on YouTube, as a matter of fact, and you can even post to YouTube from there. I saw it from a content creator on YouTube, and I've loved it ever since. There are also other options such as Later. There's one out there called Later, which is really popular. Planopoly. And even within the apps now, they have where you can go out there and you can schedule. So if you haven't thought about doing it, try to batch your content. Batch content means you go and you pretty much schedule out, you record and schedule out all your content. So you're not doing what I do, but that's just, I do what works best for me. Is when I think about it, I go and record and post or whatever it is that I need to do. And yes, I know that's a bad habit that I need to get out of, but right now that's what works for me, because I tend to get overwhelmed with social media sometimes and trying to think of all the different topics, because I not only have the podcast, but I also run a business as well. And I've picked up TikTok. So that's a lot to try to balance with two of everything. But do what works best for you. And let's see what Keisha said here. Is this the one? Yes, Keisha. Yes, I remember. I know I always ask somebody to remind me of something and then I'll remember myself. Sorry, that's just the trainer in me. All right. So, in summary, when you are naming your products, if it is just a limited collection, not really that big a deal because it's going to come, it's going to go when you run out, right? But if you are naming your products and these are your flagship staple products, you want to make sure that the name of them, of course, represents your business. If it's a collection, say it's a collection. If they are going to be flagship products, then you want to let people know, hey, these are staples. We're going to always have these. This is our basic collection. Um, does anybody do limited collections where they come and go? It's like you make them, and when you run out, you run out. Or if you're doing events, you just make them for that event. I've been thinking about doing that as well, especially with my workload and then now the podcast and my company business. I'm thinking about going to the limited release format. As long as they're there, they're there. So that's something to think about as well. All right. So when you are making all of these decisions, you definitely want to put some thought into it and do what works best for you. What works best for someone else might not work for you. Courtney says, that's what I do with my shake and melt wax melts. Perfect. All right. So when they're gone, they're gone. All right. And you'll see a lot of makers starting to do that now. And there's nothing wrong with that at all. That's a great way to get rid of fragrances or products that you have had. And speaking of which, the D Stash group is out there as well. All right, Keisha says she's going to do the limited scents. So Keisha, for you, basically you make them, and when they're gone, they're gone. And if you decide to bring them back, then you bring them back. But make sure that you state these are a limited release. You want to create that sense of urgency, because if they figure, oh, she'll bring them back when they run out, there's not going to be that urgency there. But if you say, I only have 100 of these, and they're first come first serve, limited release, when they're gone, they're gone. You want to create that urgency amongst your customers so that they will purchase. Sometimes, as you all know, candles, and especially for soap, people will purchase 3, 4, and 5 at a time. Let's see what Jayla's talking about here. I'm going to do more sales because I need to get rid of some fragrances. Jayla, you are right on time. So we talked about, wow, probably about 13, 14 episodes ago, a D-Stash group. That D-Stash group is out there on the site. It is live. It's listed under fun stuff. If you go out there, and we can thank Courtney for that, both of the spreadsheets are out there. If you're local, you can get together and put your local stuff out there. And you can also there's a tab for D-Stash that can be shipped. So here's the disclaimer that I put out there, and you'll hear me say this all the time. I am not responsible. I am not responsible for anything that happens on that D-Stash spreadsheet. All right. I am just providing the resource, but it is out there for you to use. And whatever transactions occur are between the two individuals. All right. I don't have time to manage that. I'm not going to manage it. Also, like I said, we also have the recipe blend list out there if you look under shop. All right. The blend list is under shop, the shop tab. If you go under shop, you will also see the tab for shopping with the mods, for those of you who wanted to see what all of the mods offer. All right. And they all have different style companies, they offer different things. And then you will also see for merchandise. People have asked me about merchandise. It is coming. So keep an eye on that shop tab. And of course, I will announce it on here and put announcements everywhere that the merchandise is available for the podcast if you want to support. All right. It won't just be Bubbles and Flames gear, it will be some other things that I have in store in support of my makers. So keep an eye on that. It's not just going to be gear, it's going to be things that are specifically for makers. All right. For makers by a maker, right? All right. So Jayla's going to do some more sales. So I'm going to wait for that because I buy Jayla's candles in bulk. I usually try to buy several, and I've been doing that actually since I've known her. We support each other. We, you might get something free, but we all shop from each other. So that is another thing, that if you all have something that you need me to post on the podcast site, send it to me. If you're running a special or something that you want to get out, because there's a lot of people that I see in the analytics that watch the show later. They catch the replay. All right. So make sure that if you have a big sale or something, I'll be more than happy to put that on the site. All right. But just send it to me in writing so that I have something to cover myself instead of putting a whole bunch of sales out here. Jayla, absolutely. Jayla, can you drop your site in the comments, please, for Keisha? Also, sales this week. I mentioned the Makesy site, and I believe the site sale. I think that's over. They were doing 23% off of everything. I had the opportunity to go in person to Peach State Candle Supply that is here in the Atlanta area. They are outside of Atlanta. Very, very nice people. Very, very nice people. Very helpful. They even loaded up my car for me. So, Peach State Candle Supply, shout out to them. They do have similar, if you use the auras, and I really shouldn't be giving my source for this, but you know, I share everything with y'all. Peach State Candle Supply, check them out. They do have similar aura vessels, same size, everything. All right. Very, very nice. Also, don't forget about Maryland Wax Co., Hive and Honey, Midwest, all of our favorite suppliers. I'm thinking about putting together something just for the suppliers too, because there are a lot of them and we want to make sure that we support them, whether it's fragrances, wax needs, wicks, or whatever. Keep an eye on them. 1617 is running a sale. And I think Hive and Honey's over. A lot of them were running holiday sales. So check out your favorite supplier, but I wanted to share that with you all and give a special shout out to Peach State Candle Supply. All right. All right. Jayla, don't forget to drop your site for Keisha. Does anybody have anything else? We do have a few minutes left. All right. So, what are you all thinking? I didn't see any comments come in yet about the fragrance table series. Are you all liking that, where we talk about anything and everything fragrances on that particular night every month? It's the last Wednesday. For those of you that have never seen it before, you can go back and watch. We have previous episodes where we talk about nothing but fragrances, and that's where the blending list comes from. There's a blending recipe list. It has almost 400 recipes out there, and it is available on the website. All right. Keisha, Jayla might have stepped away. If not, I'll get it to you, and I'll put it in the comments for you. All right, for everybody else. All right. Does anybody that is in the live stream, do you all have any questions, concerns, comments? I hope everybody got some rest. It's kind of a weird holiday because it's into the week, right? So it's like you go to work, you're off. No, you're off. Then you go to work, then you're off again. Okay, there she goes. All right, Keisha, there you go. All right. So, again, if you have anything that you would like to see on the show, if you want to see it in an episode, you can either DM me at Bubbles and Flames with the Z podcast on IG, TikTok, or you can send it to bubblesandflames at gmail.com. You can go on the site and send me a contact, and I'll answer you back because I'm always looking for things that you all want to see. We more so on TikTok. I'll be doing it over here, but really on TikTok, I have added the body care makers, the people that specialize in skincare, body butters, lip oils, lip scrubs, those type of things. So I'm going to add that to the Sunday night lineup. All right, and I'm do TikTok on Sundays. Excuse me for 1 second. Sorry about that. I don't want to be coughing in your ears. We started doing TikTok on Sundays at 7 p.m. All right. So we will be adding a lot of the body products if you're interested in that discussion. And we just kind of free flow it over there. There's not really a topic. It's just whoever wants to talk about whatever they want to talk about over there. But that's 7 p.m. Eastern on TikTok, and it's a lot of fun. All right. So, my ladies and possible gentlemen, if Rob is in the chat and anybody that's in the chat, did you have anything else? All right. I've got 3 topics in mind for next week, so I'm really not sure about which one I'm going to pick. All right. Oh, thanks, Courtney. All right. So, that's why I always ask you all, what are the type things that you want to see? I hope that you are thinking about your fall lineup because it is July and we start advertising for fall in September, just 2 months away. All right. If anybody is watching me in my Chandler and Me group, of course, drop a comment in the group. That's my other Facebook group. I am so proud of that group. We have wow, we're probably right at 550 people. Those are the machines that I started with. So if you want any information about those machines, go over there on Facebook and check us out. I have an amazing mod over there named Michael, and he is holding it down along with some of my mods that are over here as well. And again, we just added TikTok to the lineup. And of course, if not, catch the replay here every Wednesday night. Yes, it is growing, Keisha, and I appreciate you dropping in the group. Some of the mods from over here are actually in there. They just kind of chill out over there to see what we're talking about, and they're in that group, like in my TikTok following, because I'm up to 1,400 now. I might be over by now. I was at 13.99 when we started this podcast. So I'm super, super excited because we have people from all over the world in those groups. Australia, the England. I mean, people are just have been from everywhere, and I'm just so shocked. South America. So I really, really appreciate the support. And if you all could share this podcast, because I'm still trying to grow the podcast so that I can get different guests on. Some of our suppliers you hear us mention. I've reached out to Jeff, but it's trying to catch him because he, West Sound Candle Supply. Everybody should know Jeff, especially Jeff is a big support to our beginners. So I'm trying to reach out to the big candle makers, Jeff and Wade, people like that to come, but we've got to get the numbers up before I can get them over here. So I appreciate all of you all. If you, again, in closing, if you have a topic that you want to talk about, drop it down below and let me know. And again, this is Tina from Bubbles and Flames podcast, and that's about Camp Company. And see you all next week. Keep your eye out for the topic and have an amazing and abundant week. And take care. Talk to you soon. And good night.